All right, gonna do a little review of my homemade weed eater rack. Um, we'll start out just by doing a little overview here. It's gonna hold 3 trimmers. It's on the side of the trailer as such, just to keep the cages from getting broken from like this one, from bouncing around in the truck. We've had several of them damaged like that, as well as one stolen, so hopefully this is going to solve both issues. I looked at buying a trimmer trap version that holds 3. They're about 360 bucks, and decided to make this one myself. So this one's made out of 1 3/4 inch DOM tubing, and I put it in a tubing bender and bent this angle here and cut it off. So this is about 2 inches from the back to the wall of the trailer. And down here I just welded a piece of 3/16 plate and just secured with 2 1/2 inch bolts. Now in this piece of tubing, welded in a washer that's got a nut welded to the back of that. So there's a bolt running through the back side of this board, and it goes into this tube here. So that's what's going to secure it, keep it from twisting, as well as theft. You'd have to have a 3/4 inch socket just handily available, which is probably not going to happen. And if I feel like it, I might weld the edge of that where I cut those off, and that would keep somebody from stealing the whole thing. But anyway, on this guy here, to keep the scarring down on the shafts, put some 1/2 inch ID, just clear rubber tubing, got from Lowe's a little while ago. So 1/2 inch inside diameter and 5/8 outside diameter. Pretty cheap. Insurance for that, so keep those from getting torn up. And as you can see here, this is from the old weed eater rack on the other trailer. It does scratch them up a little bit, so hopefully this helps. Now on this side, all of the, let me go back over here just for a second. All of the racks that I've seen have a similar cradle on the other side as well for the handle, that's made out of even smaller diameter. This is 1/2 inch round stock, and I bent this in a vise. I got it to the shape that I wanted and welded these on. Now most of the other racks that I've seen have smaller diameter round stock on the handle side, which as the trimmers vibrate going down the road, they shake in here and it wears the grips out. And I can show you on this trimmer right here, you can see how it's scarred up and scratches the rubber, and on both sides it wears them out. So I really don't like that, and got a couple new trimmers, and I'm going to try to avoid that on this set. So what I opted to do was take some 2 inch flat stock, and I cut these and welded it to where the handle is going to fit inside there pretty nicely. Now during the design I got a little lazy and I didn't measure all of these to the handle. So the middle one here, I had a little bit of a gap, and I put a piece of felt on the side as well as the bottom, but it's not on the back. And then up here on the third trimmer rack, I did the same. So it's an L shape, but how this hook comes over, I couldn't quite get another piece in there. So in hindsight, I would make them a little bit wider and preferably line them with that just what's called felt blankets, but it's got a sticky back, and you can cut this stuff and put it down in there. I think it'll last pretty good, so we're gonna see. Yeah, so also on the back of this, I used 1/2 inch round stock for all of the hooks and things of that nature, the locking mechanism. So this is all just 1/2 inch, got it at Tractor Supply, and ran this through some 3/4 bolts, and so there's 1, 2, 3 of these, and so the rod just slides up and down through that, and that just made it a lot easier. I'll give thanks to Rico for that idea. And then the locking mechanism, I was trying to come up with something easy. I think I can cut this link off, and I've welded 1 link to the back of the DOM tubing, and once the trimmers are in position, I can just slide this lock through both links and then go ahead and lock it. Now with that being said, that lock is going to keep this piece of round stock that it's going to hold this trimmer from coming up out of there. So as I lift the handle down here at the bottom, I'll show you so this is going to lift. As you lift it up, it unlocks all three at the same time. You get your trimmer out, and as you let the handle down, it's going to lock them all at the same time. So therefore, once you lock the back, it's going to keep them all secure. And that seemed like to be the easiest method to figure that part out. So anyhow, it's working pretty good. And then to keep a little bit of tension on it, I've got a spring on the back. So as you're going down the road, it's not going to bounce out. There's not a ton of tension on this. I might experiment with it, but anyway, that's the gist of it. So it's going to keep that from just bouncing up. And then when you really need to secure them, just pop the lock in there and make sure the combination's not in it, and then you're good to go. So as you lift up, it only goes so far, and then the trimmer can't come out. Anyhow, so that's how I did it.